There's a fine line between greatness and infamy. In sports, that line is often blurred by one thing: the obsession with winning. We remember the records, the buzzer beaters, the gold medals. But we rarely talk about the shortcuts, the scandals, the betrayals. Behind many moments of glory, there's a story the cameras never caught. A deal made in silence. A rule bent or shattered. This is the story of when winning went too far. When the pursuit of glory overshadowed the spirit of the game. It started with a pool that turned red. In 1956, tensions were high. The Hungarian Revolution had just been crushed by Soviet tanks, and just weeks later, Hungary was set to face the USSR in Olympic water polo. This wasn't just a match. It was a war without guns. As the game wore on, it became more violent. Punches were thrown underwater. Elbows flew. At one point, Hungarian player Ervin Zador was punched so hard by a Soviet opponent that he emerged from the pool with blood streaming down his face. Photos of that moment went around the world. Hungary won 4-0, but the message was clear. This wasn't just a game anymore. It was personal. And sportsmanship? It drowned that day. Argentina versus England, 1986 World Cup quarterfinals. A rivalry born not just from football, but from the Falklands War just 4 years earlier. In the 51st minute, Diego Maradona leapt for the ball near the goalpost. He was shorter than the keeper. He couldn't reach it with his head. But his hand? That could do the trick. He punched the ball into the net. No VAR back then. The ref didn't see it. Goal. Later, Maradona said it was scored a little with his head and a little with the hand of God. Argentina went on to win the World Cup. Maradona became a legend. But that goal? It wasn't just illegal. It symbolized the blurred morality of a world obsessed with victory. Winning wasn't just about beating opponents. Sometimes, it meant faking who you even were. In the 2000 Sydney Paralympics, Spain's intellectual disability basketball team crushed the competition. Gold medal, celebration, national pride. But months later, an undercover journalist blew the lid off the entire thing. 10 out of the 12 players had no disability. They were fully able-bodied. The scandal rocked the Paralympic community. Spain was stripped of its gold. The International Paralympic Committee banned all intellectual disability events for over a decade. It wasn't just cheating. It was exploiting a system meant to empower. January 1994. Nancy Kerrigan was the golden girl of US figure skating. Beautiful, graceful, poised for Olympic greatness. But just weeks before the games, she was clubbed in the knee after practice. A targeted attack. The culprits, hired by the ex-husband of her rival, Tanya Harding. The entire world watched the bizarre fallout. Harding claimed she knew nothing. The investigation disagreed. She still competed in the Olympics, finishing 8th. Kerrigan, despite everything, took silver, but the stain never left. Harding was banned for life from figure skating. Her name became synonymous with sabotage. And the sport? It was never seen the same way again. He beat cancer. Then he won the Tour de France, not once, not twice, 7 times. Lance Armstrong was more than a cyclist. He was a global inspiration. But behind the scenes, he was leading one of the most sophisticated doping operations in sports history. EPO blood transfusions, intimidation, lies. For over a decade, he denied it all, destroyed reputations, sued critics, until the truth became too loud to ignore. In 2012, he was stripped of all his Tour de France titles. Sponsors dropped him. His legacy shattered overnight. It wasn't just about drugs. It was about the betrayal of millions who believed in a clean comeback. 1988 Seoul Olympics, the 100-meter final. Ben Johnson explodes off the line. He doesn't just win, he annihilates the world record. 9.79 seconds. He's a hero in Canada, the new king of sprinting. But 48 hours later, he's stripped of his gold. He tested positive for stanozolol, an anabolic steroid. The world was stunned. Johnson said he was sabotaged. Others claimed everyone in that race was doping. In the years since, it's become clear Johnson wasn't alone. The entire sprinting world was deep in the drug game. But he became the face of it, the scapegoat, the lesson. Every sport has its dark corner. Every era has its controversy. But what binds these stories together is the same thing: a belief that the outcome justifies the means, that crossing the line is okay as long as you cross the finish line first. The crowd cheers, the medals shine, the banners rise. But behind the curtain, the truth festers. And maybe that's the most haunting part of all. When the line between hero and villain depends on whether you got caught. Victory is beautiful, addictive. It fuels careers, sells tickets, and builds legends. But when the hunger to win becomes a hunger to win at any cost, something breaks. Not just in the system, but in the soul of sport itself. Because the dirty side of victory isn't always exposed. Sometimes it stays hidden, buried under layers of silence, power, and profit. Sometimes it's justified by coaches, federations, and fans who just want the win, no matter how it's earned. We say sports teach discipline, honor, respect. But when systems reward results more than values, we send a different message. That greatness is worth more than goodness. That a legacy is worth more than a conscience. Think about the children watching from the stands. The ones who dream of becoming the next great sprinter, baller, striker, or gymnast. What do they learn when their heroes are built on lies? What does that teach them about what it means to compete? The truth is, every time someone crosses the line, whether with a needle, a bribe, a hidden camera, or a rigged play, they don't just cheat their opponents. There are still athletes who play clean, who lose with dignity, who win without shortcuts, who believe that how you play the game still matters. And maybe those athletes don't always get the spotlight. Maybe they don't always stand on the podium. But they leave something behind that's worth more than a medal: integrity. Because at the end of the day, banners fade, records are broken, legends come and go. But the soul of sport, that fragile, beautiful thing, only survives when we choose honor over hype. So the next time you witness greatness, ask yourself, did they win the race, or did they lose who they were trying to be? Because in sports, as in life, the greatest victory is staying true, when everything around you begs you not to.